Elden Ring as a game is one that I have a very strong connection to. Not just because it was easily the longest it ever took me to complete a main story of a game, but just how fun the entire experience was. Elden Ring came out 2 years ago, and we just got the Shadow of the Erdtree trailer for the gameplay reveal, and I wanted to replay the game. So, leading up to the trailer release, I put my helmet on and dove headfirst back into Elden Ring. Elden Ring released last February, or I say last February, that's not even true. It released 2 Februaries ago, and it definitely took the world by storm. I think from the jump, people knew that this game was going to get Game of the Year, and it deserved it tenfold. This game is absolutely incredible and is easily one of the best games we've ever gotten. And I still think that people don't talk about that enough. Just from every aspect of the game, you can tell there was love poured into it. You can tell that the player experience was in mind for every aspect. And even though it is an enraging and enrage-inducing game, it's still crafted with a lot of care and a lot of love. So I went back and played the game again, and I did not beat it this time. I did play like a decent amount before quitting again, but the first time I ever played Elden Ring, I remember it took me probably like an hour to get past the starting point of the game because I didn't even know the controls. Elden Ring does not tell you how to play the game. It does not teach you how to play the game, and it's unforgivable from start to finish. This is not From Software's hardest game. I think that Sekiro, or however you say it, is a lot harder than Elden Ring, and that is a game that I never beat. I got like 65% of the way through that game. I think that this game does everything beautifully. I was immediately taken back to when I first loaded up the game through the music score. It's just so beautiful, and it's one of those music scores that I can see myself actually just listening to, like while doing homework or something stupid. I know that's a big like gamer moment, but it's seriously gorgeous from every aspect. Every boss that you fight, the music is insane. Every cutscene has great music, and that just kind of bleeds into the sound design as a whole. I think all the weapons sound amazing, the enemies sound great. I think that the world itself sounds beautiful and looks beautiful as well. Big open world games like this are always hard because you have to find a balance of making it feel like it is this deserted wasteland in a lot of cases, while also giving the players a lot to do throughout. And I think Elden Ring has that balance perfectly. There's a lot of souls that you have to find. There's a lot of people that you can interact with in different ways. There's a lot of enemies that if you don't know what you're doing at the start will kill you in 2 seconds, or if you know what you're doing, you can beat them from the get-go. And I think that is where Elden Ring really shines, is in its freedom. You know, so many game developers and games in general nowadays, they promise the freedom of exploration. They say every decision you make in this game is going to affect the outcome. And then we get the game, and there's either only 1 or 2 crucial decision-making points that affect the game in one way or another, or that freedom that we were promised is not there in any way, shape, or form. Hey, maybe you can choose to go left instead of right in 1 or 2 aspects, but at the end of the day, the game still ends the same way. And Elden Ring, no matter what, the ending boss and the ending of the game is going to be the same. But how you get there is completely different from pretty much any game out there. Elden Ring lets you, from the start of the game, play it exactly how you want to. It's incredibly hard if you're just gonna go straight to the bosses, but that's the beauty of this game. It's hands-off in its approach. You can get to one part of the game completely differently than somebody else, and I think that is one of the most underrated aspects of this game, and it's the part that I think I appreciate the most. I know I brought up Sekiro a little bit ago at the start of this video, but in that game, it's not as open. It's pretty direct. It's pretty one-dimensional path-wise, and Elden Ring just drops you onto the map and doesn't tell you where to go, doesn't tell you what to do. If you wander into the wrong area, you're gonna get murdered. If you wander into the right area, you probably are still going to die. It's one of those experiences that you really have to learn as you go, and I think that's something that a lot of games do not do anymore. Now, replaying this game 2 years after it came out was definitely an experience. The same anger that I had when this game came out during certain portions is definitely still there, and I think that now that the flares of excitement are back because of the DLC, I can appreciate this game even more because it is absolutely fantastic, and I personally think that it is in like my top 10 favorite games of all time now. I think going back and replaying it made me appreciate it even more, and I wish that we got this DLC a little sooner, if I'm not going to lie, but I'm very excited for it because the DLC looks fantastic. If you haven't seen the DLC trailer, I highly recommend doing so. I think there's going to be like 10 more bosses. It looks like there's more, not classes, but there's more abilities to get. It looks as though the same kind of area is going to be used at some portions, but then it looks a lot different in different areas. I think the environments look gorgeous in the base game, and the DLC is definitely going to do the same. Some of the new like enemy types that they showed look absolutely terrifying, and I'm very excited. I definitely think that From Software is probably the best developer that is out right now. I know that Insomniac and Rocksteady and all these other development teams and studios are there, and they're all fantastic, and obviously GTA 6 is probably going to swing the pendulum back. I definitely think that From Software, as of right this second, is the studio to beat. I think that they have just such a grasp on how to create a well-made action RPG, as well as how to take advantage of player expectations and player experience and help that to mold the game into a certain way. I'm excited to see where the DLC takes the story and just overall to play more Elden Ring. I think if you're on the fence about playing the game because you've never played it or going back to play it, I think you definitely should.